Now we know the problems with traditional JavaScript development. And we also know how our Angel MVC design pattern can help us in solving these problems. It's time to see how we can separate these three concerns: a model, a view, and a controller using AngularJS. I want to start with the view first. When you start developing a website or a web application, HTML is the only choice we get for creating views. Exceptions can be there if you are using plugins based development. If you are using a plugin like Flash or Flex, you can code your views using these languages feature. But final output will be the application wrapped around HTML page. As browsers understand HTML very well, the obvious choice of creating views in AngularJS will be HTML. But HTML wasn't designed for making web applications. Dynamic applications. It's really good at delivering static content. So Angular team decides to keep the basics of HTML intact. And they decided to extend it with a new vocabulary called directives. So when you will think of views and when you will think of creating it in AngularJS, you should think of HTML and directives. I feel it's good to go and check the definition of vocabs, like we got the new vocab directive. So I'm gonna go on Google and check the definition of directive. Cool. So directive means an official or authoritative instruction. Or even we can check the synonyms here. So this is what directives do. It's instruction or set of instructions given to the HTML elements. So the next question might be popping into your mind, how to give these instructions. I think you can guess that. I can give you a hint. HTML elements got custom attributes. I think you got it. Yes, we can give these instructions through attributes. Or even we can create new custom HTML elements. I think you might be getting excited now. Okay, so I have set up a project and HTML file to start with. And say suppose you want to hide some elements from the DOM. How you might gonna do that using JavaScript. So suppose I have created a paragraph with some text and ID of say para. To hide this paragraph, I need to access this paragraph using jQuery and then call the hide method. Simple, right? So I'm gonna run the application and see, cool, the paragraph is no more visible now. I can do this same thing in AngularJS. Let me open the HTML file for this. You can see this HTML file is powered by AngularJS using ngapp attribute here. So what goes inside this HTML element can be controlled by AngularJS. Okay, so I'm gonna add the same paragraph here as well and give it an ID of say para. Now to hide this paragraph, I just need to write an attribute called ngHide and set its value to true. Simple. This ngHide is a directive and it's giving instruction to hide this paragraph based on its value. Okay, so let's run and see. Great, so the paragraph is hidden here as well. Now you must be thinking, what's the difference between these two? And what plus point we have achieved using directives? Let's compare both the code together. So when I look at this paragraph in my JavaScript version, by just looking at this paragraph, can you guess it's gonna hide sometime in future? You'll say yes, as the code is written below here. But what if this code is written in a separate JavaScript file? You will have no clue what's happening with this paragraph. And look at this code, the AngularJS version. It's so expressive. I bet just by looking at this paragraph, you'll say, yeah, this paragraph is gonna hide. As I have said, it to hide by setting this attribute value to true. So this reminds us of what we see is what we get. And all the code related to hiding this paragraph is actually abstracted away from here to something called ng-hide directive. But where is the code for ng-hide directive is written, right? This hiding is actually written in a module called ng-module. And ng-module is actually loaded and compiled based on this attribute ng-app. ng-app is also a directive which initializes our AngularJS application. The ng-module contains the essential component for the AngularJS application to work. You can check the same written over here in angular.js file. So the advantage is my presentation is more expressive and all the DOM manipulation code is abstracted away in the directives code. AngularJS has a collection of ready-to-use directives, and to get more information about it, you can visit angularjs.org, click on the Develop button, then API reference. Here you can find all the list of directives, and if this list doesn't help, you can create your own. So in summary, when you want to create any view, think of two things: HTML and directives.